Hi everyone, so if you're watching this for the first time, my name's Marianne. I'm the owner and the counsellor at Marianne Hanson Counselling Service. I work with individuals and couples and I specialise in the areas of stress, depression, low self-esteem, relationships and anxiety. So if you're watching this for the first time, then please feel free to share it with others. Also, you can like the video and you can leave your comments. I'd love to hear what you think. So I've been doing a series. Sometimes when I do a series, I'll do 7 days of videos and I'll upload them and then it will be part of that series. This time around, I think rather than doing it that way, I've just been making different videos talking about what is and explaining a particular phenomenon. So I've done what is love bombing. I think I did what's the one? Imposter syndrome, and this is another one now which is called what is financial abuse. So I think that other types of abuse when it comes to domestic violence are probably talked about a lot more. Physical abuse, sexual abuse in domestic violence, even things now like coercion are becoming more, and stalking, they're becoming talked about a lot more. Something that I don't think gets talked about enough is financial abuse. Now, as someone that has worked within that field, working with victims of domestic violence, I worked at Women's Aid as a volunteer counsellor for 3 years. This is something that comes up a lot, and also even with when I was a social worker, I've been in situations where financial abuse has been a part of the dynamic of that household. So financial abuse is when finances are used as a way to control someone in a relationship. That is the basic definition. So in the same way that physical abuse is used to exert control, maybe to stop someone from leaving, wanting someone to feel pain or to not like themselves, emotional abuse can be used to manipulate a person into feeling a bad way about themselves, or it can be used as control. Financial abuse is the same thing. Now, when it comes to, it can go from minor to major. And what I mean by that is minor financial abuse, and I'm just using the terms minor and major, not to say that it minimises it, but just to give you an example. So someone might be in a relationship and they're happy, married, they've got kids, and then the person says to them, I don't want you to work anymore, you look after the kids, and then come to an agreement. And then the partner, the one who's working, then turns around later on and says, I'm going to take control of the finances because I don't want you to have to worry. But then slowly over time, they start only giving certain amounts of money to the wife or partner. They then start reducing that amount. Then the reason it becomes more controlling then is they start to give them less than what the person needs. I've heard cases where people couldn't even buy sanitary towels because they didn't have any money to, or they were given money for food, but it wasn't enough for them and the kids. And the person who's doing this, the perpetrator, they're aware of that. They're giving them less than what they need, but then they're also saying to them, I'm not allowing you to go out and work, so you can't find your own money either. In those situations, it takes a lot of support from resources, agencies that can support the woman to build a safety plan. That might be where they have to find some sort of income, and it may mean they're doing that secretly and then they have a different bank account. It might be that they have to put some of their money with a friend to hold on to till it piles up until they can then escape. There's lots of different ways, but that is one aspect. If it's extreme, I mean, that is still extreme when someone is like giving someone less money. It can also be in terms of someone taking someone's money from them and demanding that they make all decisions about finances, but also it can be where that person is spending the money on things that are unnecessary but causing their partner to be distressed. For example, the partner might be working and give them money for the rent, then they'll blow the rent money on gambling or drugs or something else, and then it won't be paid, and then the partner will be in a stress state. How are we going to pay the rent? And the person who spent it all will just be saying, well, it's not my problem. And then they might either have another woman so they can go and stay there. They might not care. They might be doing it on purpose to provoke their wife or partner. Any type of abuse, the perpetrator is getting a buzz from it, but also it's meant to provoke a series of stress and distress in the other person. So with financial abuse, it's the same. So when they go and spend all the rent money, it's not an accident they've done that. They're doing that on purpose. It's a form of control. You're giving me all of your money. I'm going to use it the way that I want, and I don't care about the consequences, even if there's people who will get evicted, and they'll still be like, well, it's not my fault, you know. So another thing is that, so we've talked about giving someone less money than they need to live off. We've talked about not allowing someone to work, and we've also talked about putting someone in a position where when they do work, you take all of their money. So the other fourth thing as well is forcing someone to take out credit cards or loans in your name. That's quite common as well in abusive relationships. I'm not saying that all of these things don't happen in some relationships on a different level. So I'm not saying every time someone takes out a loan in someone's name, it's abuse. That's not what I'm saying. But in cases where the person, either they've run up lots of debt through gambling or something, or where neither of them are in a position where they can afford to pay back the loans, or where the partner has got good credit, but they're being asked to ruin their credit by taking out credit in the partner's name, in that sense, it can be classed as abusive because you're intentionally putting your partner in a difficult situation. And similar to putting limits on access to a joint account, that's another one as well, where someone will say, we've got our names on the joint account, but then they will kind of question when their partner takes any money out of it, but they'll take money out of it and not justify where that's gone, or they'll put a limit on how much their partner can take out of the joint account. So what can you do about it? So I think the two main things really are that you can seek help. This is what I always say to people, that I know that anytime there's discussions on YouTube about leaving an abusive relationship, the first comments are always, it's not easy to do. The second comments are, that's the worst time, that's when you're at risk and that person will come after you and kill you and these sorts of things. It's all true that there is a high level of risk at the point where you leave. That is the reason that there are agencies out there that are aware of this and they put something in place like a safety plan. I don't ever discuss what safety plans are because I don't want people perpetrators who could be watching to know what's happening. So the reason that they're safe and they're kept secret is because when you go to that agency, they will put something in place for you. There's no guarantees that that person still isn't going to find you, and there's no guarantees that that person is just going to say, okay, you've gone. But the way to think about it is, what is the two alternatives? Being in a relationship where there is abuse, whether that's financial abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, and physical abuse, and knowing that that's not going to stop because the perpetrator isn't going to stop, they've got no reason to, or taking a risk which may lead to you are putting yourself in danger, but with the possibility of maybe escaping that as well. There are lots of women that do escape, and men, because it's not just a female thing, it's men as well. So separate your finances as much as you can. Try not to get in a position where you say yes. You can say to your partner, do you know what, I'll think about it. Maybe instead of me quitting my job, how about I think about it? Or you can try and be a bit clever and say, well, I'll reduce to part-time. And then the other thing is when you do get your pay and your salary and things like that, it's figuring out a way where you can have some money that you put aside. It's almost like a safety fund for you. And I think getting support to do that is the first step. So if you found this video useful, please feel free to share it with others. Also feel free to like and to leave your comments. And if you found this video useful and you enjoy watching these types of videos, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.